June Ordinary Council meeting of Muswellbrook Shire Council. This meeting is being held in the meeting rooms of the Muswellbrook Library at 126 Bridge Street, Muswellbrook on Tuesday the 24th of June 2025. I declare the meeting open at 6 p.m. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and will be made available on Council's website. Applications for attendance via audio visual link. We have an application for attendance via visual link from Councillor Graham McNeil. It's been received. Can I please have a mover? Councillor Barry. And a seconder? Councillor Dunn. I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against? I declare the motion carried. Acknowledge my country will be read by Councillor Dave Hartley.
Thank you. Council would like to respectively acknowledge the local Aboriginal people who are the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which this meeting takes place.
Thank you. The civic prayer will be read by Councillor Dunn.
Almighty God, from whom comes every good and perfect gift, we give you thanks for the blessings you bestow upon us in this Shire. Grant to those who hold office in this council the spirit of justice and truth, of wisdom and charity, that mindful of our responsibility and of the needs of those we serve, we may promote the true welfare of your people, exercise wisely and faithfully the authority committed to us, and advance the common good. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you. Apologies and applications for leave of absence. Council has received apologies from Councillors Drayton and Councillor Scholes. Is there a mover? Thank you, Councillor Morris. And can I have a seconder? Councillor Barry. I now say that the inability to attend from Councillor Drayton and Councillor Scholes be accepted and the necessary leave of absence be granted. I now put the motion for those in favour of the motion. All those against, raise your hand. I declare the motion carried. Confirmation of minutes. The minutes of the Ordinary Council meeting held on the 27th of May 25. The recommendation in the business paper is that the minutes of the Ordinary Council meeting held on the 27th of May 2025, a copy of which was distributed to all councillors, be taken as read and confirmed as a true record. Do I have a mover? Councillor Morris. Seconder, Councillor Hartley. Thank you. I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against? I declare the motion carried. Disclosure of any pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest. We'll start with you, Councillor Barry.
None.
One.
I have two. First one being 10.2 point, sorry. 10.1.4 monthly report to Council on Planning, Environment and Regulatory Services, as I have an application in for non-concurrent. And the second one is 17.3, closed council, tender asset construction of footpath and laneway, Bridge Street, Muswellbrook, non-concurrent as my daughter. Reason being my daughter works for the company, one of the companies.
Thank you. Go on to the screen. Councillor McNeil, do you have any?
Neil, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Harjan.
Yeah, yes, Madam. Okay. I having a one item number 10.1.4 monthly report to Council Planning, Environment and Regulatory Service, page number 64. One of the property listed in this code, I and my wife own it.
Councillor Hartley.
None, thank you.
No.
No.
And I don't have any myself. Yeah. Mayoral minutes. There is no mayoral minute. We do have public participation. I'd like to call on Mr. Alex Walker if he's here. I'll just let you know if you'd like to come to the podium, please, and give him 2 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Alex Walker. We've bought a block. Bought a block up at 37 Sunline Street in the new Northview estate up there. We've run into a huge problem up there just trying to build the home that we want with asset protection zones. The woodland that's at the back of the blocks. We've currently had some fire assessments done up there. One of them's come through and knocked us back until council come to some sort of plan. The other ones that we had to employ has gone and kicked things off up there with a woodland area with the RFS. But the build that we want to put up there has planted us right in the middle of what they consider the flame zone, the higher level of the bushfire rating up there. I don't think the company that built the estate up there ever did any sort of ecological assessment up there. I don't think any asset protection zone was put in place. I think this goes back to roughly 2011 or 13. So here we are in 2025 and everything's grown up and we've got a huge problem up there to build what we want to do up there without having the possible fire come up to our back fence. There is quite a substantial slope at the back of our block that we bought. The RFS, when establishing asset protection zones, gives you a rough determination of what sort of distance you need. Dealing with Matt over the past couple of weeks to try and get some help on this matter has suggested roughly a 36-metre easement from the back of the boundary of the block down the slope. And that's what we're here to get some help with from council tonight to just let us build what we want to build up there within the guidelines and the development application, of course.
That's time. Sorry, did you want a little bit of extra time?
No, that's fine. Thank you very much. For
Do any, sorry, does any councillors have any questions of Mr. Walker?
Just check, you haven't built yet, have you?
No, we can't build.
Building because you can't build because of those restrictions.
Yeah, I actually just got knocked back on Sunday. McDonald Jones home, so I don't want to move forward with it at all until hopefully we can get a resolution out of this. And we also need, once that asset protection zone is established, has been maintained going into the future.
Yeah.
So it's not just that it's more expensive to build, you're not allowed to build, or we can't get a contract
Yes, we could look at altering the design, but
to build what you want to build.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cost, you go have a extra cost to you build the.
yes. In the flame zone at the moment, it'd be roughly about an extra $40,000, which we wouldn't do. We'd just sell it and let someone else deal with the problem, unfortunately. Just an astronomical amount of money for timbers that a PVC or something that doesn't burn.
When did you say you bought?
A couple of months ago, maybe. I'm guessing maybe 3 or 4 months ago or something like that.
I understand you can't talk on behalf of the other people that will potentially build there, but you expect that what the cost would be to them as
Yeah,
well.
be 20, 30 blocks up there all affected by that.
And that would 30 or 40,000 would be potentially what it would cost.
Depending on where they build on their block, but yes, yeah, we've got roughly 9 metres from the rear of the build to the back boundary. But if we want to go ahead and put a pool in or a shed for the mower or whatever, then we could be restricted by that too. So we just want to build a home.
Yeah.
Further questions? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I've
Thank
got a question,
sorry.
Madam Chair. Mr. Walker, I'm sorry, I think you did cover this, but I just didn't quite pick it up. The sound's not coming through. It is half the time. But what is it exactly you are seeking from council in relation to the problem?
An asset protection zone that is maintained going into the future.
Right. And how is, if I could ask maybe the general manager, how that would be achieved?
No, sorry, you're not able to ask questions at this time, Mr. McNeil, Councillor McNeil.
We can deal with it in closed council, please, Councillor.
Yeah, you can ask those questions in closed council.
Thanks, General Manager.
Thank you. I'll now call I'll now call on Mr. Maverick Brady. Yeah. I'm gonna just listen on the same thing. I'll give you 2 minutes and. Thanks.
I'm here today with I live up at Sunline Street too. I don't live up there yet. We brought a block from my partner and I, Grace. We brought a block that we're actually next door to Alex. And we've run into the same issue with our builder, and half of our block's in flame zone and build the house, which is like a standard 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. We're having to move it that far forward on the block to even be just out of the flame zone. That we need to move 200 tonne of dirt off the block to lower the house so the driveway is not too steep. So we're incurring possibly the extra like 30-40 grand in bushfire stuff, as well as the removal of soil and everything else. So we tried to do as much research as we could before we brought the block, but the rules and regulations only changed recently with the bushfire assessments and the bowel ratings and stuff. So yeah, it's affected us build quite badly, and we're at the moment we're held up. We can't build until we come up with a resolution. But yeah, we're hoping to hopefully get a bushfire protection zone put in out the back that's mowed and maintained, and that will dramatically bring our costs down, and we can move the placement of the house as well possibly. So that should save us quite a bit of money. Like me and Grace are both local from the area, and we're wanting to stay local and build local. We've used our first home buyers grant to buy the block of land as well. So yeah, we rang up to see if we could get out of that, but it's too late. Like once you've settled, you're locked in for that. So,
If any councillors have any questions, please.
Just when you bought the block, you are not aware that it's come to the bushfire?
We done some research. We were looking at the old bell ratings and stuff, and we compared it to the houses on the other side of the strip of land, and they were in it was like not an easement, but it was there's another word for it. It's a buffer zone, but now it's changed. It's not just buffer. There was like 3 categories that I looked at, and we would have been possibly in buffer at worst, but now because of the independent reports you do for every single block, it comes into like the downslope behind the block, the height of the trees, the sort of bushland it is, and then it's like it starts out as flame zone, which is the worst, and then bell 40, bell 29, and then bell 19 and bell 12.5, and yeah, where our house will be on bell 40 if we move it right to the front of the block. So pretty well half of the blocks is flame zone, and our hunt homes have pretty well told us that they don't build in flame zones. So, and there's only 2 builders that you can really use at the moment up here, and it's Hunter Homes and McDonald Jones. Yeah.
Goodness.
The flame zone, is that include trees or is it just grass?
It's all to do with your heat rating. So like where the growth and that is, it doesn't have to be around the house. It's just the heat that it emits to the house. So like we've still got 11.5 metres to the back of our block from the back of the house. And then the trees are another, I think that at the moment from our block, they're another, say roughly 10 metres, but it's still close enough. And because it's not maintained, it goes up a category. So maintained.
That would include the trees.
Yeah.
So trees have to go to be.
Yeah, some of the trees, but the large trees, like large native trees are okay, but it's just because it's unmaintained, and the shrubs and smaller stuff, that would have to be cleared out and possibly maintained, like the grass around it.
Thanks.
If that was done, would you still have half your block of the flame zone?
No, it would go down. Like if it's a 30 metre or 36 metre buffer zone, that'll bring us down to one of the lowest ratings, closer to 12, which should save us a bit of money. And that's if we leave the house at the front of the block. But then if we move the house back, we'll obviously go higher flame zone. So we've got to sort of find the balance between whether we want to pay the money for the bushfire stuff or the moving the dirt.
Yeah.
So further to that question, with that zone, you could move the house back to where you wanted.
Yeah, basically if we move the house further back, it's all to do with the angle of the driveway, because that's changed recently as well too. You can only have you've got to have 5% slope, and then a transition of 12.5 and steepest to 25%. So if you go too far forward, then the only way to do that's to either do a drop garage or drop the whole house down. But there's similar costs basically.
Then could you still put a shed or a swimming pool or something else in the backyard?
You'd have to do an independent report on that to get that passed through, and it's got to be a certain distance from the house, and you can get a certifier to come in, and then that can act as a shield to the house technically as well. And if you build that to, it'll have to be to like the same bell standard, but like a metal shed obviously is a lot easier to build than a house because you don't have as many flammable materials.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So if you don't have the asset protection zone, then you can still build, but on the front of the block at a lot bigger cost,
Yeah.
and you won't be able to have those things in the backyard.
Yeah, basically.
Thanks. Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Thank you.
There is no business arriving from the previous minutes. So get into business. So 10.1 planning and environment. Development application 2024-92, change of use to place of public worship. 75 Bridge Street, Muswellbrook. It's under 10.1. So the recommendation in the business paper is that council approves development application 2024-92 for a change of use to place of public worship and building works at lot 1 DP 558793, which is 75 Bridge Street, Muswellbrook, subject to the conditions in Appendix B of the report. Do I have a mover?
Yeah, happy to move that.
Councillor Dunn. Seconder? Councillor McNeil. Does Councillor Dunn, do you wish to
No.
speak to the motion? Councillor McNeil, do you wish to speak to the motion?
No, thank you, Madam Chair.
Anyone else wish to speak to the motion?
Yeah, right.
Thank you, Mr. Ward. Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against? I declare the motion is carried. 10.1.2, draft temporary workforce accommodation policy for public exhibition. The recommendation in the business paper is that council endorses the draft temporary workforce accommodation policy for placement on public exhibition via council's website for a period of 28 days. 2, if no submissions are received in relation to the draft temporary workforce accommodation policy during the public exhibition period, then council resolves to adopt the draft temporary workforce accommodation policy on the day following the conclusion of the exhibition period. 3, if submissions are received in relation to the draft temporary workforce accommodation policy during the public exhibition period, then a further report will be submitted to council for consideration of submissions received during the exhibition period. Is there a mover for this? Thank you, Councillor Marshall. Seconder. Thank you, Councillor Bailey. Councillor Marshall, do you wish to speak to the motion?
Only to say that it's a well put together document.
Thank you. Councillor Bailey, do you wish to speak to the motion? Does anyone want to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, please raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion is carried. 10.1.3 Major Land Care Projects Outcomes. The recommendation in the business paper is that the information contained in the report be noted. Do I have a mover for that? Sorry, Councillor Barry. Seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Morris. Councillor Barry, do you wish to speak to the motion? Councillor Morris, do you wish to speak to the motion?
Thank you.
Does anyone want to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion carried. 10.1.4. Monthly report to Council, Planning, Environment and Regulatory Services. The recommendation in the business paper is that the information contained in this report be noted. Do I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Morris. A seconder? Councillor Hartley. Councillor Morris, do you wish to speak to the motion?
No, thank you.
Councillor Hartley?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion carried. Councillor Marshall to come back in. Thank you. 10.2 corporate services. So 10.2.1, the draft procurement policy for adoption. The recommendation in the business paper is that Council adopts the procurement policy. Do I have a mover for that, please? Councillor Morris. A seconder? Councillor Barry. Councillor Morris, do you wish to speak to the motion?
No, thank you.
Councillor Barry.
I just want to commend the staff on this document. There's a lot of work gone into it and it really does display the maturity that Muswellbrook Council is showing around our procurement these days. So well done to the staff.
Thanks, Councillor Barry. Does anybody wish to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion is carried. 10.2.2, the Delivery Program 2025-2029. The recommendation in the business paper is that Council adopts the Delivery Program 2025-2029. Do I have a mover that way, please? Thank you, Councillor Morris. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Marshall. Councillor Morris, would you like to speak to the motion?
Thank you. This is exciting. I think this document is an amazing document. A credit to both the councillors and the council staff for creating it. It's going to be an exciting 10 years ahead of us, I think, and we've got a lot of work to do. And I think the community is going to benefit an enormous amount from this program.
Councillor Morris. Councillor Marshall, would you like to speak?
Councillor Morris said, "Look, thanks."
Thank you.
Sorry, no.
Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against, raise your hand. I declare the motion carried. 10.2.3, Resourcing Strategy for 2025-2029. The recommendation in the business paper is that Council adopts the Resourcing Strategy 2025 to 2029. Do I have somebody move that way? Thank you, Councillor Ward. I have a seconder for that motion. Councillor Morris. Councillor Ward, do you wish to speak to the motion?
Coal, underground, jobs, 120, coal mines.
Good. Councillor Morris, do you wish to speak?
No, thank you.
Does anybody wish to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion carried. 10.2.4, the Operational Plan, Budget Estimates, Revenue Policy, Fees and Charges 2025-2026. The recommendation in the business paper is that the Council adopts the Operational Plan 2025-2026, including the budget, revenue policy and fees and charges that has been in place on public exhibition via Council's website for a period of 28 days. Do I have a mover of this motion? Councillor Mahajan. Seconder? Councillor Hartley. Councillor Mahajan, do you wish to speak to the motion? Councillor Hartley?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion is carried. 10.2.5, rating categories and subcategories. Is there a mover and a seconder for the recommendation that is listed in the business paper and also on display on the screen? Thank you, Councillor Marshall. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Hartley. Councillor Marshall, would you like to speak to the motion?
Thanks.
Councillor Hartley, would you like to speak to the motion?
No, thank you.
Does anybody wish to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion is carried. (10.2.6) 2025-2026 making of the rates and annual charges. Do I have a mover and a seconder for the recommendation that is listed in the business paper and is also on display on the screen? Councillor Morris moved. Seconder, Councillor Mahajan. Councillor Morris, would you like to speak to the motion?
No, thank you.
Councillor Mahajan, would you like to speak to the motion? Does anybody wish to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion is carried. 10.3, infrastructure and property. So 10.3.1, Maitland Street public footpath, signed documents under the seal of council. The recommendation in the business paper is that council authorise the following documents to be signed under the seal of council in accordance with the regulations. 1, the plan of subdivision administration sheet dedicating the small portion of the land being lot 2 DP 1284529 and council land being lot 1 DP 1284529 as public road under Section 9 Roads Act of 1993. 2, the release of the restriction form. 2, partly release the positive covenant AQ 909849 for the land being lot 2 DP 1284529 over the small portion of land required for road purposes and extinguish the positive covenant over the land being lot 1 DP 1284529 and lot 4 DP 1284529. Do I have a mover for that?
Yep.
Councillor Ward. And a seconder? Councillor Bailey. Councillor Ward, would you like to speak to it? Councillor Bailey, would you like to speak to it? Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion is carried. 10.3.2, the proposed Crown Lands closure. The recommendation in the business papers is that council advises Crown Lands that council has no interest which may be affected by the closure and disposal of proposed Crown Land at McCulley's Gap, adjoining and within the property of 202 Henties Road. Do I have a mover?
Yeah.
Thanks, Councillor Marshall. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Dunn. Councillor Marshall, do you wish to speak to the motion?
No, thank you.
Councillor Dunn.
No, thank you.
Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion is carried. 10.3.3, Muswellbrook Golf Course lease. The recommendation in the business paper is that the information contained in the report be noted. Do I have a mover for that? Councillor Dunn. A seconder? Councillor Bailey. Councillor Dunn, do you wish to speak to the motion? Councillor Bailey, do you wish to speak to the motion? Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion is carried. 10.3.4 Victoria Park, the Telstra lease. The recommendation in the business paper is that the information contained in the report be noted. Is there a mover for this motion? Thank you, Councillor Hartley. A seconder? Thank you, Councillor Morris. Councillor Hartley, do you wish to speak to the motion? Councillor Morris?
No, thank you.
Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion is carried. 10.3.5 Future Fund Policy Review and Committee Terms of Reference. The recommendation in the business paper is that the Council 1 endorses the draft Future Fund Policy and the current schedule for placement on public exhibition as a notice of intention to adopt. Number 2, adopts and amends Future Fund Committee Term of Reference. Do I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Mahajan. Seconder, Councillor Morris. Councillor Mahajan, do you wish to speak to the motion? Councillor Morris?
No, thank you.
Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion is carried. 10.3.6 Capital Expenditure Review, Olympic Park Precinct Upgrade Revision 2025. I would like to move that we defer this item to allow councillors adequate time to review the attachment. Seconded by Councillor Marshall. I don't wish to speak to the motion. Councillor Marshall, do you wish to speak to the motion?
No.
Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion is carried. 10.4 Community and Economy. 10.4.1 Innovation Seminar and Challenge. The recommendation in the business paper is that Council supports the implementation of a series of innovation seminars and an innovation challenge available for all council staff to support organisational culture, learning and development, and innovation leveraging council's investment in the MELT Modern Manufacturing Centre. Do I have a mover for this? Councillor Morris.
Yeah, move that.
Seconded, Councillor McNeil. Councillor Morris, do you wish to speak to the motion?
Thank you. This is a wonderful initiative, I think, from the General Manager to benefit, well, a lot of people are going to benefit from this, I believe. Certainly the staff will get a lot out of it. It certainly puts the melt facility to good and to the purpose that it was designed to do effectively. And from previous discussions, I think we're going to get some wonderful ideas coming out of this thing that will be very beneficial. Congratulations.
Councillor McNeil, would you like to speak to the motion?
I'll just support Councillor Morris's words.
Thank you. Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion is carried. 10.4.2 The Community Benefit Fund Procedure. The recommendation in the business paper is that Council endorses the Community Benefit Fund procedure to be placed on public exhibition for a period of 28 days and a further report be submitted to Council at the conclusion of the exhibition period. Do I have a mover of that motion?
Happy to move that.
Councillor McNeil. A seconder? Councillor Morris. Councillor McNeil, do you wish to speak to the motion?
No, thank you.
Councillor Morris?
No, thank you.
Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion is carried. 10.4.3 Council Grant and Community Engagement Update. The recommendation in the business paper is that Council notes the information contained in the report and endorses Council staff to review and apply for funding opportunities identified in the report. Do I have a mover of that motion? Thank you, councillor Morris. Seconder. Councillor Marshall. Councillor Morris, would you like to speak to the motion?
No, thank you.
Councillor Marshall, would you like to speak to the motion?
I need to congratulate the council officer for the great report and great outcomes.
Thank you. Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion is carried. And now we come to the minutes of the committee meetings. 11.1, Muswellbrook Sports and Recreation Committee meeting minutes of the 3rd of June 2025. The recommendation in the business paper is that council notes the minutes of the meeting of the Muswellbrook Sports and Recreation Committee meeting held on the 3rd of June 25 and adopts the recommendations contained therein. Is there a mover for this?
Yeah.
Councillor Hartley, seconder. Councillor Marshall. Councillor Hartley, would you like to speak to the motion?
No, thank you.
Councillor Marshall, would you like to speak to the motion? Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion is carried. 11.2, State Significant Development Committee held on the 10th of June 2025. The recommendation in the business paper is that council notes the minutes of the meeting of the State Significant Development Committee held on the 10th of June 2025 and adopts the recommendations contained therein. Do I have a mover for this? Thank you, Councillor Bailey. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Dunn. Councillor Bailey, would you like to speak to the motion?
Why not? Yeah, just to note that the State Significant Development Committee, there's only a few items in there, but it's a very, very significant and hard-hitting items that go on in that committee, and definitely for the betterment of the council and the entire Muswellbrook Shire. So I think it's a positive thing.
Thank you, Councillor Bailey. Councillor Dunn, do you wish to speak? Does anyone want to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion is carried. 11.3, Infrastructure and Property Committee meeting held on the 10th of June 2025. The recommendation in the business paper is that council notes the minutes of the meeting of the Infrastructure and Property Committee held on 10th of June 2025 and adopts the recommendations contained therein. Is there a mover? Thank you, Councillor Morris. A seconder? Councillor Bailey. Councillor Morris, would you like to speak to the motion?
Thank you.
Councillor Bailey? No, thanks. Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion is carried. 11.4, Finance and Governance Committee held on the 12th of June 2025. The recommendation in the business paper is that council notes the minutes of the meeting of the Finance and Governance Committee held on the 12th of June 2025 and adopts the recommendations contained therein. Is there a mover? Councillor Mahajan. Seconder. Councillor Barry. Councillor Mahajan, would you like to speak to the motion?
Thank you.
Councillor Barry. Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion carried. 11.5, Denman Sport and Recreation Committee meeting, 11th of June 25. The recommendation in the business paper is that council notes minutes of the meeting of the Denman Sports and Recreation Committee meeting held on the 12th of June 25 and adopts the recommendations contained therein. Is there a mover? Councillor Ward.
Second
Thank you, Councillor Marshall as a seconder. Councillor Ward, would you like to speak to that?
Training, basketball,
Garden.
yeah, garden, yeah.
Thank you,
We
Councillor
can
Ward.
provide an answer to that, please, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Thanks very much, Councillor Ward. We do take that on board, and the Director, Infrastructure and Property is looking at ways we can solve that problem, and also perhaps discuss the gardens with the garden group, just possibly to relocate them a little bit away from the basketball stadium.
Councillor Marshall, do you want to speak to the motion?
The same, and very well constructed meeting.
Thank you. Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. I declare the motion carried. Notices of motion. There is no notices of motion. Councillor reports. Do we have any councillors have anything they wish to report on? We'll start with you, Councillor Barry.
So I attended the opening of the Denman netball court, basketball court, multi-facility out at Denman. So Yasmin Catley, the Minister for the Hunter, actually was in attendance, and we also had Meg Halen, who's a West Newcastle netballer. Her parents also came along just for fun. Councillor Ward and myself, and we had a number of council staff in attendance as well. That facility out there is a fabulous achievement by council staff. I actually had a show and tell on the weekend and took a few people out, and I'm like, ta-da, Denman has this. I've had so much feedback from members of the Denman community on having it. What are the hours of opening? When can we go and see it? How can we use it? They're already talking a social netball comp out there. I was out there, as I said, on the weekend. There's kids out there everywhere. It's all going on at Denman netball course. So yeah, well done to the staff. I also, on the same day, attended the Bayswater 40th celebration at Bayswater Power Station. Busy day. Councillor McNeil was also in attendance. It was a pretty astounding feat to sit there and listen to stories from the building of Bayswater Power Station to they cut the cake at the minute that the first unit was turned on, and they had the actual log of the issues that they had turning that first unit on, and they were reading that out in the 5 minutes beforehand. So hearing those stories from those people about what happened to get such a big facility, and I'm actually proud to be a significant part of such a significant critical infrastructure to New South Wales. So it was a really good day out there, and well done to everyone that's ever been involved with Bayswater Power Station. Great achievement. That's it. I'm done now.
Councillor Morris.
Thank you.
Councillor Marshall.
I had the privilege of representing council, myself and Councillor Douglas and Councillor McNeil on Saturday night at the Business Awards. It was a great night, great winners. Very well drawn day.
Thank you. Councillor McNeil.
Yes, Councillor Bailey was there as well. Just support Councillor Barry's words in relation to Bayswater Power Station. Yeah, I'm old enough to remember and was part of the team that was actually putting the place together. And there was some incredible speeches and statistics, one of which is that it's provided energy for 2.5 million homes for 40 years. So it's pretty impressive when you put your head around that. Are you, Madam Deputy Mayor, are you going to speak again about the business chamber? I won't want to steal your thunder.
No, you can go ahead.
No, I'd just like to say, from what you mentioned, what Councillor Marshall's mentioned, it was a brilliant night, so well attended, and really gives you a lot of heart in the community in terms of innovation and prospects for our business community. And Madam Deputy Mayor made a very good speech too, I might add. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Mahajan.
No, thank you.
Councillor Dunn.
No.
I don't have anything here, but thank you very much, councillors, for your reports. 14 written questions. There was no written questions. We'll move on to questions for next meeting. Do any councillors have any questions for the next meeting? We'll start with you.
No.
No.
Councillor Marshall?
No.
Councillor McNeil?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Deputy Chair. Madam Deputy Mayor. Just as mentioned in the briefing session, if council could investigate the signage for the art gallery visible from the highway, of the status of the art gallery in terms of it's opened or closed, and as the general manager suggested, the indication of local close proximity to parking. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Mahajan?
No.
Tom?
No.
I don't have any either. Okay, so adjournment into closed council. Is there a mover and seconder that council adjourns into closed session and members of the press and public be excluded from the meeting of the closed session, and access to the correspondence reports relating to the items considered during the course of the closed session be withheld until declassified by separate resolution? This action is taken in accordance with section 10A2 of the Local Government Act 1993, as the items listed come within the provisions outlined in section 17 below. So that was moved by Councillor Marshall, seconded by Councillor Hartley. I now put the motion. All those in favour of the motion, raise your hand. All those against the motion, raise your hand. We'll now move into closed council. Yeah. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
Okay, 17.1 Regional Entertainment Conference Centre. Council resolved that the approval of the variation of 140,731 exclusive of GST to complete phases 2 to 7 of the Regional Entertainment Centre design process as endorsed at the June 25 Infrastructure Committee meeting, and approved proceedings as described in the report. This motion was carried. 17.2 Reg Pro 042526, the regional procurement tender for supply of traffic and safety signs. Council resolved to accept the following source suppliers for supply and delivery of traffic and safety signs: Aircraft Proprietary Limited, Barrier Signs Proprietary Limited, Central Signs Roads and Safety Australia Proprietary Limited, Hunter Valley Signs Proprietary Limited, trading as Hi-Vis Group, for Reg GPR 00042526 until it's facilitated by the regional procurement of the period of 1st of July 25 to the 30th of June 28. And approve the option for the provision of a 12-month extension based on satisfactory supplier performance, which may take this contract through to June 30, 2029. This motion was carried. 17.3 2023 2024 0591A, the tender assessment for the construction of footpath and laneway Bridge Street, Muswellbrook. Council resolved the acceptance of the tender submitted by KCE Proprietary Limited for contract 2023-2024 0591A, upgrade of the footpath and laneway at Bridge Street for the lump sum of $678,598.86, pass a provisional sum of $83,530 exclusive of GST, and delegated to the General Manager authority to enter into a contract with this successful tender for the upgrade of the footpath and laneway Bridge Street under contract 2023-2024 0591A. And Council approved the transfer of $174,115 from the Civic Precinct GL 3690.5498 to ledger number GL 3500.4591 CBD Stage 7 to enable fulfilment of the contract. This motion was carried. 17.4 2024-25 0657, the tender assessment Muswellbrook water treatment plant, the filter refurbishment works. Council resolved to accept the tender submitted by All Flow Systems and Solutions Proprietary Limited for contract 2024-2025 0657, Muswellbrook water treatment plant filter refurbishment works for the lump sum of $211,509 exclusive GST and delegated to the General Manager authority to enter into a contract for the Muswellbrook Water Treatment Plant filter reimbursement works. This motion was carried. 17.5 Bushfire Protection Zones, Sunline Street, Muswellbrook. The council resolved to prepare an ecological assessment and related study of the bushland lot 589 DP 835738 to the south and adjoining Subline Street, Muswellbrook. And once the assessments have been completed, a further report is to be submitted to council. This motion was carried. 17.6 Future Fund Projects. It was resolved that council undertakes a detailed review of the Future Fund's long-term financial plan and proceeds with the projects as listed in the report, and the allocation of respective capital budgets be made as per the business case. This motion was carried. There being no further business, I declare the meeting closed at 7:25 p.m. and thank everybody for their attendance.